All right, good morning, 6:45, Friday, January or February now, 4th, 2022. This week's code of conduct is to promote the code. Our last code item is to promote all the other code items that we have. Ben, it's pretty straightforward, but is there anything you'd like to add on this code item this week?
Yeah, the other part of it is that when someone is when it's obvious that somebody's not following the code, whisper some counsel in their ear about it, because promoting the code is about promoting the code to others too, and standing behind it.
Nice, thank you.
In a positive way.
In a positive way, but
Right.
remind them of what they're saying.
But to bring it about into, I'll bring out all the positive parts of the code to others, and that's in the spirit of the code too.
Yep, good point. So another 7 days without a recordable injury. Excellent job. 67 days as we're marching through 2022 and starting a new month here in February. So again, big slip, trips, and falls out there today, and safe driving out there on the roads. So let's just try to plan ahead as best we can to control our hazards and going into next week. So keep up the good job. Last week, we kind of talked about the slip, trips, and falls, and then the other most frequent injury that we have is hand injury. So I just wanted to highlight that as we're going into another month here is preventing hand injuries. It's important that we always make sure that we identify these hazards such as pinch points, rotating parts, hot and cold spots, and entanglements. Those hazards are what we need to try to prevent our hands from getting into, so we don't have workplace injuries with our hands. Again, our hands are one of the most important parts of our body. Here in construction, it's really hard to do your job without using your hands. So, it's here's a nice little thing from the Safe and Sound Week that was kicked off. It's they do each year, OSHA and VOSHA do, and it kind of just talks about overall statistics in construction. You can see 70% of all injuries have been prevented, may have been prevented by wearing proper hand protection. So these gloves are very critical to it's that last line of defense. We're going to talk about some other really good ways to prevent hand injuries, but you could just oversee, or you could see here the overall costs that happen in construction due to hand injuries in the United States. You got $1 million for emergency room visits each year due to hand-related hand injuries. 1/10 of those visits result in lost time, and then hand cuts and punctions cost the construction industry an annual $400 million. So it's something that can be prevented with just good best practice in wearing gloves, but also what I really want to talk about and make sure we put an emphasis on those JHAs is, again, looking at those hierarchy of controls. We want to make sure that all of our tools have guards. We want to make sure that anything we can do to make our tooling as safe as possible, we want to maintain those guards at all times. And we always want to make sure that we're trying to use tools such as crowbars or any other spud wrenches that we may have to put those tools kind of in those pinch points or in those tight quarters, especially when we're doing multiple tasks at once, or we're moving, say, like tight forms and tight areas. Anything we could do to keep our hands away from those nip points, pinch points. And then again, relying on that last line of defense is always wearing the proper glove for the hazard. So if you're torch cutting or welding, make sure you have the good kind of fire retardant gloves. Or if like a day like today, a lot of snow removal, making sure you're trying to keep your hands nice and warm on this cold, snowy day. So again, it's very important. It's definitely one of our most frequent hazards that come up and bite us each season. So I really like to try to go 2022 without a workplace hand injury. It'd be a major feat if we can do it. So I put the goal out to everybody to making sure that we got proper identification, and we're utilizing the hierarchy controls by making sure guards are in place, try to use those crowbars, anything we can do to not put our hands in pinch points. Anything to add, Ken?
Well, I like how we got the new Fastenal tool dispenser that has the gloves, and there's different gloves in there, and so they're always accessible to any employee if they need them. So let's pick the right ones and not get the right fit too. It's important.
Yep, thanks, Ken. We have Steve and Tom here with the Mike Lawyer Foundation, and like to pass it on to Tom here to talk about what we were able to do for them this year.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay.
I get you.
All right. Good morning, all, and certainly thanks for having us here. I just kind of want to start out by saying, as a coworker to all of you, I'm absolutely amazed and humbled. This effort and the spirit that it takes to push this effort over the top every year to help our communities in such a diverse way. I mean, there's 4 different organizations that are helped every year after year. So I just think that's fantastic. So hats off to all of you for that work. It's just amazing. On behalf of the Classic Mike Lawyer Foundation, a very, very, very sincere thank you. We've come a long ways in a short amount of time, and it's primarily due to folks like yourselves and a lot of other groups out there trying to help us out. So it's been good. It's been fun. It continues to change every day. This past year, the foundation turned 10 years old. It's amazing to think that, but it's just gone like nothing. As we have aged and grown, we've been able to do more and more each year for a lot of folks in need, and also provide more significant assistance when it's needed. So that's been comforting. We rarely don't help. It's hard to count those times, to be honest with you. We have a 2-part mission statement. A lot of you guys know this, a lot of you guys and girls know this, but for the new folks, our primary mission is to assist families who lose loved ones in worksite accidents, which we've unfortunately had to do too many times. Our secondary mission statement is to help unique causes within our communities, and that's been great because it allows us to be very flexible and really help where the need is, and we try to vet that as best as we can. Just a couple recent things, because like I mentioned, we're doing a lot of things, more and more things every year. Just recently, we assisted a single mom going through cancer, gave her some financial assistance and paid, I think, 3 months of her rent. We had another single mom who was right during the holidays, actually had a fire, lost all of her personal goods and her son's personal goods. So we jumped in there and helped out. But probably one thing I just want to talk about that's been very special to us, and Ken, I think, touched on a prior meeting earlier this year, is young Nora Warren. She's an amazing young girl. Nora was a 10-year-old when she had her injury. She broke her neck in a swimming pool accident. She's 11 years old now, and she's got a great spirit. I'm confident this young girl is going to find a way to be a positive impact on society. We, together with our foundation, together with the Travis Roy Foundation, teamed up, made a joint effort, and was able to deliver the family a handicap van, which has been great for them. They've been just recently, the last few weeks, they've been back to Pennsylvania again. Nora's starting to go through some surgeries to try to get her hands to at least work a little bit better. They're talking about taking some tendons out of her elbows in different spots. So she's got a long road in front of her, but that van has helped the family to be mobile. Prior to that, her dad, great people down there, it was picking her up every day, putting her in his pickup truck, then putting the wheelchair in the back of his truck, and the mom couldn't be mobile without the dad around. So it was a nice thing. And none of that would be possible without all the support provided by ECI, by all you guys and girls, and all of our benefactors. So we really appreciate it. We're going to continue to be responsible as to how we put these funds into our communities to make sure these people are really in need, and that we help them typically quickly when it's needed. So it truly does take so many, including all of you, to make all of this work. So we're blessed to have such an affiliation. So on behalf again of the foundation and me as a coworker, thank you all for the generous support. It's just been unbelievable. So hope you'll have a perfect day and a safe day out there. With that, I'm going to turn it over to my much older brother, Steve.
Well, Tom, you took all of you've said everything, but what I wanted to do was, as a member of the Classic Mike Lawyer Foundation, I really wanted to thank you all for welcoming us into your family, and in just watching your meeting, and it's a pleasure for me to sit in on these things, to see the level of professionalism that you all have, and how you share yourselves, not just your financial support, but sharing of yourselves with our group is one of a kind relationship for us, for sure. And we can't tell you how much we appreciate everything you do. If it weren't for COVID, I would find myself stopping and hugging each one of you guys when I see you out in the road, because what you do for us and for the community is really not to be it's a big deal. It's a big deal for us, and it's a big deal for the folks that we work with. And I know sometimes for you all, it seems like, well, this is just what we do. It's how we do it. That's being humble for certain, but it speaks to each and every one of you. It speaks to the company, speaks to ownership, and it's just it's a relationship that we cherish, and we there are nobody else out there that we're working with that provides the level of support, both financial and people support, that you all do. It's allowed us to do many things. I think one of the things that Tom kind of alluded to, we're looking at bigger support. And one of the things that we realized, and Tom and I and Ben have been working on this, was that every scene of an accident, there are bystanders that are impacted by that as well. And we've created we're working on a relationship with the Howard Center to bring those kinds of services to the people who are in and around those scenes that may need support as well. So your support, both financially and the help of Ben and Tom, is just instrumental in allowing us to do those things. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you all very much. We wouldn't be half the group we are if it wasn't for relationships like all of you bring to us. So thank you all.
So Steve and Tom, I want to thank you back, because over the years, I've probably contributed a lot to providing needy people for you. And one thing I'm always confident about, I think about, what's going on in different situations, and every time I've ever brought anything to you guys, you've always done something, and it always seems like it's appropriate and it's helpful to the people. Some of them have been our own people, and some, other people that we know in our industry. And I appreciate the fact that you got that. It's like having something in your back pocket when somebody's really struggling and you're like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do here? I've always been able to say something to you guys, and you've always helped 100%. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for attending and presenting to us, and congratulations on all your success too. And we hope you continuing success, and we're eager to be part of your endeavor.
Thank you, Ken.
Thanks,
Okay.
Ken.
All right. Thanks for coming, Steve. Thanks,
You
Tom.
bet.
Have a
So
great
I'll
day,
take-
Steve.
Okay, see you guys.
See you, Steve.
You can stick around, Steve, if you want.
He's out of here.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'll take over. There we go. Can you see my screen?
We got it.
We can.
Okay. Good. All right. So avoiding hand injuries, keep that in mind, especially this week, because this is the focus of the week.
Yeah.
announcements, you should have received your W-2s in the mail by now. So if you haven't, go double check. And if they just don't seem to be coming, check with the accounting department, make sure they have the right address. I think they can reprint them anyway. So
Yep.
check in and let the accounting department know. There are new fuel cards been in for several weeks now. I think Sarah might still have some that have not been handed out, so check with her. And cold nights, of course, this is old news, but let's keep at the treating the diesel fuel. Oh, I forgot to click on download pictures. There we go. Expand out.
Yeah.
There. I found that image online.
Cool.
Very
So,
cool.
of course, talking about Mike Lawyer, I didn't hear too much about Mike himself, but I know that he meant a lot to Tom and Steve, and it's really a kind of a cool way how the brothers, other surviving brothers, are really making an effort, and a very successful effort to recognize Mike and remember him by.
Thank you for that comment, Ken. I can't tell you how many times I have wished and just thought how great he would have fit in at ECI. He would have just been the perfect fit for us. So I'm sure he's looking over us for sure. So
He must be looking over us. So $5,040.78. So that was directly from all the employees of ECI. That's not a corporate money. That's really from the hard work and the hearts of our employees. So we have sad news about the passing of Albert Cheequin. He passed away here on the 31st. Albert had been battling pancreatic cancer. He joined ECI back in May of 2013 and worked up until the fall when he was diagnosed. Albert worked for many years on our concrete crew, and prior to that, other companies as a concrete worker. And then most recently, he kind of switched over to the civil crew a lot with Greg Farr's crew. And Albert was known as a collector. He loved to fix things up. He had a great personality, and everyone loved him. So we're very sad to see him pass. And I have his obituary and an old picture from 2014 when he was working on on one of the bridge projects at Lake Road overpass over I-89. So
Never seen him not smiling.
yeah, that's true. He'd always smile. He was really happy guy. Made you feel good. He really engaged with people too. So primary wellness care wellness program. Click it on if you need info. I know we have a meeting later today, probably with Beth Schiller to kind of get her here in the next couple weeks to talk about it more. We're still in this snowstorm. I saw earlier before I went out to plow, there was like an additional 3 to 6 inches in the Champlain Valley. So it's still coming down pretty good. COVID policies, again, we're still we're still masking and doing social distancing in the workplace, but hopefully this latest surge has peaked. It sounds like it. So we're all going to be very happy to get it behind us and hopefully move on to a different time. So for this week, project profile, we're going to have Brian talk about the Shore Road water main break in Burlington. Brian, you all set?
Yep, I'm just gonna take and try to share my screen, Ken,
Okay.
so I can bring up.
Yep.
There. So
I don't see
over
your
the last
screen.
weekend, I'm sorry,
What? Do I have to release? Okay.
can you see me? And
I do not. I don't know about others.
Not yet,
can you see
Brian.
my the
Try it
screen?
again. I was still connected. I think I had to give it up.
Okay. How
Nothing?
about now?
Not quite
yet.
yet.
No?
Yeah, I lost the image of you. I just have a pink screen.
I can see Brian, but I can't see his screen.
Okay. I can hook it back up.
Oh, I'm clicking on the share screen, share content. Clicking on my thing yet. I'm not sure why it's not going through.
Matt, is there anything at your end for controlling the meeting that you need to do?
No, you should be good to go.
Well, I'll engage the screen for you, Brian. If I can get it to work now.
Oh, hold on a second. I might have it right here.
Okay. I just took it, so see if you can take it back. There we go. Look at that.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little different now. I have to go to a different box. I can't just click on the window. So last weekend we had quite a major water break with some extreme conditions, and I know Kenny wanted to present it this week to show appreciation for the guys that struggled through this. So I'd like to give, before we get going here, Tyler and Rob and Kenny King and Brian Martell, especially for always being available to move the equipment and then jump in the hole with the guys. It's pretty good. The teamwork is incredible that we see out there. I'd also like to give Phil and Phil Forrester, Alec, and Ken Allard for coming out not knowing what they were getting into. This is kind of like one of their first deals, and they still came out and completed a repair themselves with Charlie Suture, who is also quite the veteran.
Right.
I mean, the teamwork is just, to get something like this done is incredible. The cold, it really takes a lot out of you, and to stick through it shows what everybody's made of. So I appreciate it, and I know Kenny appreciates it, and everybody else. And I'm
And the
sure the
city.
city of Burlington.
And the residents were,
Absolutely. They were, most of the time, those people were so nice. You don't usually we're getting blamed for some reason, like it's our fault. But the people in this neighborhood were like really nice. They brought stuff out for the guys. It feels good when you're doing a job like that and people care.
right.
So here we go. ECI is contracted with the city of Burlington for the emergency water breaks. This one was in the new north end. It was actually two separate breaks. When we got there, obviously the first thing we have to do is assess the safety for our guys. People don't realize that with this type of violent water break, the cavities underneath the pavement, you may not know, are empty, and you got to be careful where you put your vehicles and letting people near the site, and until you can get a good handle what's going on. This time we dealt with, when we got there, all the gate valves to shut the water down were full of water and they're frozen solid. So steaming the gate valves had to happen first before the water could get shut off, which took a couple hours. We didn't actually get going till daybreak when we finally got the water shut down. And then after that, we found quite the damage to the roadways and storm lines and quite a bit of stuff. We knew we had a lot of work cut out to get done over the weekend. So this is what the road looked like when we showed up. Some places had a foot and a half of ice on top. Here's a little picture of starting to dig. Even though you get the water shut off, there's still like thousands of gallons of residual water that come back at you, especially if the soils allow it. And then you got to deal with the wet soils. You got to have a good head on your shoulders and think quick. This is Robert getting things opened up for us.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned Rob Barber when when you mentioned everybody. It
Yeah,
seemed
I
like,
think I did. Tyler and Robert.
okay,
mean-
Robert, yep.
Yeah,
And
these
the-
guys,
And Tyler.
you know, I
You
gotta
know,
give
Brian,
kudos to Tyler and Robert because they really took charge of this job and
Yep.
the response time and
hey,
they did a
Brian,
great
also,
job.
also, Brian, if don't forget the drivers like Gene Goslet and the other guys that, and
Oh
Joe.
yeah, and Patrick Sumner.
Yep.
I think we went through 5 different drivers because of
Yep.
just the length of time they weren't allowed. They would have all stayed, but they weren't allowed to because of their driving time. You know,
Right.
Patrick, a regular now, coming out with us, very dedicated. Gene, Joe Sumner, again like Brian Martell.
Right.
He jumps in the dump truck, he moves the equipment, he gets in the hole, he fixes. I mean, it's great teamwork and that's how it should be,
And anybody else that helped that we didn't mention.
And look at Kenny, look at the smile on his face. It's like
Yeah.
10 below 0. These guys are numb now.
Yeah.
He
Bring it on.
froze in that position, Brian.
He's always look at the
He's
smile.
smiling
He's
early
like
and he
happy.
froze.
It's like the worst conditions he could be in.
He likes the camera.
So this is the first repair. Phil and Alec and Ken and Charlie Suture took care of the second one, but this is the first one where we were charging the line and making sure that it wasn't leaking so that we could find the second one. These are the guys kind of talking about what we're going to do. See these hoses? We went through 8 sets of these hoses. It was
Did they
so
freeze?
cold out. Every time we pumped for like 45 minutes, the lines just froze right up and we had to change hoses. I was running back and forth to the shop, getting new ones, throwing those ones in the heat. It was quite the thing.
Wow.
Here's damage from the first break. This is actually a gate valve. You can see
Wow.
the nut right there. The
Yeah,
the
you can
line,
kind of tell.
full radial break right there around that gate valve.
Holy cow.
Is this all 6-inch diameter stuff, Brian?
These are 8.
8-inch.
These are 8-inch.
That's a lot of water.
It was a lot of water. It actually went down all the way down Shore Road, turned the corner, and I'll tell you, if we didn't get the water off when we did, the houses down there would have been totally damaged and flooded. But again, it took like hours to steam out the gate valves to even try to
How
get
long did it
the
take to
water
get
off.
water isolated? A long time.
So this picture here isn't from this job, but it says a lot. I mean, that's the filter, the pre-filter for filling, and that diesel fuel is an ice cube. It's totally frozen. Myself, I've never seen frozen diesel fuel before until that night, and I'm sure Charlie remembers that night. That was 2019, January 20th.
Holy
And
cow.
me and Charlie were the guys outside freezing our butt off, trying to get the job fixed.
Hmm.
So, Charlie's been doing this for a long time with me. And this also, I mean, you got to go give kudos to Pat and Larry Raymond, because without Larry Raymond, we wouldn't have done anything that night. I mean, he worked all night with us, just keeping everything running and changing filters. And I think we went through like 6 light towers. It's crazy.
You went through quite a few this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3. We had two in Larry's shop on standby, staying warm. This
I got
was from
this-
the job. This was the back of the tailgate. I think Kenny took this one.
Yeah.
The frozen.
Wow.
And this was Sunday after we got both breaks done. And the guys were back. First crew was back to clean up and finish and prep for the concrete that was going to get poured Monday. So they went home, got a couple hours sleep, came back.
Wow.
This is Jimmy and his crew filling in the concrete roadway.
Wow. Nice.
This
Cool.
was Monday morning. And then Jimmy went back Tuesday and actually repaired all the sidewalk that got blown apart over here.
How many yards of concrete?
30 yards.
Over 30, I think.
Yeah, it was a little over 30.
Mhm.
That's a lot of concrete. The break went down Shore Road, and then this whole intersection was,
Okay.
it took out, like, it undermined everything. So like I was saying earlier, you know, you got to be careful. You don't know where to go until you actually get a good assessment of what's going on.
Right.
And, one of the other type Burlington things that happened to us is we had a car when we were getting going, just roll into the middle of the intersection, and this gentleman passed out and just kind of came to a stop right there in our job site. So we got him out of the way and kept going.
Wow.
The guy's pouring.
Yep.
It actually came out really nice. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they might want the rest of their road done.
Yeah. And then Kenny's got this from the archives, and
Okay,
And
I think is that Mike?
that would be Mike.
I think
Mike
it's
Colby.
Yeah, Mike Colby.
yep.
And one of the famous IBM water breaks
Right, on the North
that
Loop
we all
Road.
know and love so well.
Yep. Oh, okay.
So I think
That-
the famous floating bridge, I think that's really 2003 that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I left that by accident. I didn't notice that I had another title underneath there, so that was from the week before. All right, good. Well, thank you, Brian, and
Yeah,
thank you for
thank
everyone
you.
who worked on the water break. And we're proud of what we can do in these challenging conditions, and certainly that the city and the residents are grateful, and it's kind of cool to have a great little success on a really complicated, challenging conditions. But also, if that hadn't, like you said, if that hadn't have been stopped and repaired in the moments that it did, then things would have gotten so much worse that they would have had a huge disaster down there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So good. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Ken, I want to thank you, Brian, also, because you
Yeah,
take the point. You take the point on these, and I know that there's a lot of sacrifice involved in that, and we appreciate it. It's not always at the most convenient time when you're sitting at home and trying to do something, and then the phone rings. So, thank you.
Almost
you.
never is, right? Yeah. Thank
No.
you, Brian. Okay, everybody have a safe day out there. I'm sure a lot of us will be involved in snow removal, even getting out of our front doors.
Hello,
All right.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Daryl. If anybody's got anybody available, I could use a couple shovelers to help these guys I got. They've been going for quite a while here.
Yep.
If anybody's got, any project managers have got anybody available that's not really doing anything
Anyway.
impressive.
Okay. We'll get on it. Thanks.
I got all plowed out, so
All right. Very good. All right, everyone hear Daryl's message, I assume. So
Yeah.
we'll get on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Catch you later.
Be safe today. Have a good day.
Right.